very impromptu one. So please bear with me on that. So let me disable the waiting room, and I'll let the student webinars leader know that I'm hosting instead. So give me 2 minutes there, then we will start the session. So meanwhile, can you guys introduce me a little bit about your interest and what is your experience or level in Spark, so I can, prepare the where I can mention the material that appropriate for our level. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, that's awesome. So I use Spark a lot. Well, not a lot, but I have some experience in Spark anyway. So, oh, okay. Oh, okay. That is could be great. So I'll talk about some basic what Spark is, what the HDFS Hadoop cluster is, and I'll show you maybe some small example. Well, I'll show you how to set up some steps to set up a Spark cluster on your computer, so you can start with Spark. Actually, in the previous class, I used to set up on Colab, but then I haven't hosted the training for a few months now, and I think the drive changed. So yeah, so some of the software is not working anymore, but I'll show you anyways. So later on, I'll try to edit the notebook so that everyone can run it on Colab. It's super, super easy. It's just the drive, it must be expiring, you know. So, okay, so let's start. Oh, I cannot show you guys this. Okay, hang on. Give me a minute. I need to stop some of my work stuff, and I will share screen again. Sorry. Okay, so let me share with you guys the screen again. So let me show you where to get the material. So if you go here on repositories, training documents, so you go to Spark trainings, and there will be so you will see like presentation slides and Colab notebooks that I prepare, and also like a simple training set, and I also have some training on Scala training materials also. So if you are interested, please take a look. But for right now, I think everyone familiar with PySpark, and we will use this as a default language in here. So let me go back and send to you guys the link. How do I send this? Oh, the chat doesn't work. Oh, okay. I got it now. Sorry. Okay. So that is the link for my Spark training material. So let me go through with you to show you what is the Spark. Can you guys open my notebook, all right? I mean, my materials, all right? Hello. Can you guys open the GitHub and the slides, all right? Okay, awesome. So let me start. So originally, my content would be introduced to Spark and also go through Spark SQL and a hand-on session and a slide about Spark streaming, which are normally presented by one of the classmates. But for today, we only have probably 20 minutes. So let me just quickly show you what is Spark and how I use it at work, and also how to some steps to set up the Spark standalone cluster. So let's go to introduce about Spark. So have you guys heard of Hadoop? So okay, awesome. So okay, so some of you have heard and some of you don't. So let me introduce again for you guys about Hadoop. So years and years ago, Hadoop. We start go back to the history, right? We before the big data, so we work on the on-prem machine, and we have like one server to do everything. And if you want to have like more powerful compute system, then you have only choice to upgrade that server, right? So later on, we go to the concept of this distributed system. So let me try to pull up the distributed system. So let me try to pull up the image for you guys so that you guys can see. So what distributed system is, basically is the cluster of computer, and you are taking advantage of the power of clustering, where you will calculate and back up and storing and use the strength of a cluster to solve your machine learning model. Well, to like query on data and backup and analysis. So we have the phase of everyone use Yarn and Hadoop, and you can see that here actually Cloudera is one of the leading in the Hadoop and Hadoop technologies. Well, Cloudera and Hortonworks, but then now they merge into one already. So normally I just use Cloudera as reference. So ecosystem. So this is the whole stack of Hadoop. But then now Hadoop is aging, and Spark is a new star, I guess. But then for Spark, for Spark, we still use HDFS. So basically what the HDFS is Hadoop distributed file system. So we will still use that. So it's still Spark. The core of it is to use a distributed system. And so we have distributed system. We still have Yarn. It's the same model that you see in Hadoop, but then up here for computer engine, we use Spark instead of we use Yarn to calculate. And the advantage of Spark, there's a lot of advantage of Spark, but one of the things that I guess it make it become popular is that it support multiple languages. So people who already have knowledge in Python can join instead of before you have to use like Java and Scala. So on top of Spark, there's different APIs where you can use to command Spark core to run. So we have Spark Streaming, Graphics, MLlib, and Spark SQL. And Spark SQL is what I would say, like if you are a big data analyst, then you will use it daily. So okay, hang on. Let me make sure that I'm recording. Okay, I'm recording awesome. So like big data is become more and more popular. So that's why it's very good for everyone here to learn about it. And also now we are moving to cloud, and you will see like a lot of services that use Spark. For Azure, for example, you guys have Databricks. Databricks is Databrick. Basically, you can have it on Azure, on AWS, on GCP. All of the four fund cloud providers, we all have Databrick, which is the interface where you can use Spark to analyze data. And if your company use cloud, and if you want to get a certificate on the on data analyst, Databrick would be great because their certificate is reasonable. It's more reasonable than Hadoop. I think it costs about $80 compared to Hadoop, which is about $200. So if you want like a certificate on your profile, then it's a great place to start. Also, they are very support for students. So if you are students and if you have the .edu email, you can get the practice space for free. I'll have to send you guys the link for that, but you can get the practice place for free and you can take the classes. And after that, you can have the certificate. So let me show you how the certificate of Databrick would look like. I won't be able to see everyone yet. So if you guys have questions, please interrupt me. Feel free to interrupt me in here. So please show you. Yeah, so you can also go to Databrick trainings. For example, like this, they have very basic training for like ETL and stuff like that, but it's a very good introductions. And another resource that you can take a look is they have the notebook examples where you can take a look of how they build models and use and query different data for trainings. So it's a very good resource, and especially if you can use Azure or the free AWS credit for that. That is fantastic, because setting up Spark on the machine, setting up Spark on the, you know, like if you have Windows, then setting up Spark would be a little bit difficult, but it's not impossible. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. So, you know, Spark is used by a lot of companies, Netflix, Uber, Pinterest. It's more and more popular. Even my company, we are start using it, and we don't even have like huge data like Netflix or, you know, e-commerce platform does. It's just very easy to scale, and this is the power of Hadoop and Spark. So you can go through here. This was what I was talking. So the core is Spark API and it supports multiple languages. Please let me know if you guys can read the pictures. Then I will zoom it up. Sorry. Basically, at the core, you guys have API, and on top of that, you have Spark SQL, Spark Streaming, which is like to take the streaming data. So if you have heard about Kafka, then Spark Streaming is similar like that. And MLlib, which is for machine learning. I have to tell you guys that right now, machine learning on Spark is not optimized. Hello, Pretty. Welcome to the group. So MLlib is not optimized. So one good news is that a few months ago when I attend the Spark Summit, I saw that they come out with, Azure come out with a library that are very optimized for Azure MML. You guys should definitely try it out if you have the free Azure credit. MML Spark, so they write this library especially for Spark, and it have a lot of more features than the standard ML libs in the Spark API. So what one feature that I have been looking at is the live GPM, and they have more support in the MML Spark comparing to the normal one. But then still, if you are using machine learning for training, for testing data, it would be better to test it on Python instead of PySpark at this stage, because it's still not like a stable. It's still not a stable version. Well, I mean, you can do it. I just don't think that it's a stable version at the moment. But once you pass the testing phase and you want to have a production, then maybe you can try to use it. I haven't used Databrick or any cloud product with Spark, so I don't know how the machine learning would work on cloud, whether it's more stable or not. But so far, I see like on-prem, there's a lot of struggle with translating the script between Python to PySpark on the on-prem. So that is one area that you guys should be aware of. Also graphics, you know, graph computation. I haven't touched on this area, so I'm not sure. Spark R, so basically R for Spark, but I don't think a lot of people use it. So the default language for Spark is normally PySpark or Scala. Some people use Java and some people use R, but Python, for PySpark and Scala, you guys will see tons and tons of examples, especially in Spark 3. They make the gap between the PySpark and Scala is closer. So there's not much difference between PySpark and Scala now. Okay, so I think I have been going through most of the information about Spark already. So you guys can reread it here. So basically, why Spark? It's fast, expressive cluster of computing system. So it's improved efficiency through in-memory computing and general computation graph. And it's support a wonderful API libraries, and it have a large community support as well. So you can see like Databrick, they have wonderful summit. They are very user target. Also, you can find like support on Stack Overflows, and you can on the Databrick forum on a lot of platforms on clouds that toward Databricks. They also have support on Spark as well. And there's some, let me see. Yes, there's some cloud native that use Spark solution. So I'm not sure about Azure. I'm still have to study for that. But if you guys use AWS, then you have AWS Glue, which you can use a Python or PySpark to do the data engineer on that. So let's go to this. So basically this slide is just about distributed computing, where basically you have a group of machines and a pool of resource, and you use the driver to allocate the resource to different machines. If you have time, you can read on the white paper of AWS on distributed system. I forgot the name of the white paper. I'll try to input it on the slides because it's a very influential papers. I think it was one of the most influential paper in this decade. Certainly, I forgot the name, but I'll try to input it in the training materials again for everyone to read. If you are passionate about cloud solution architects, pay attention to the white paper. It's very good, and you will learn a lot of information on distributed system. So yes, so basically what I have said is the components of Spark, a driver and an executor. So the driver responds to three things, right? It maintaining information, it responds to user program input. So what you input in here, it goes to the driver, and the what you input is your machine. So what you input there is analyzing, distributing, scheduling, monitoring. So basically the task that you input in your computer. So those tasks, those commands will be sent to the drivers, and the drivers will be sent to the executor to execute those. So the driver is, I guess you can say the driver is acting as a master, and it distributes tasks to the slave nodes. So you can think of it as that way, right? So let's talk about Spark Score API. I'll go a little bit fast because I think we only have 1 hour. Can anyone help me check on to see how long we have until the next session? Because I'm not sure like how long the setting's supposed to last. Okay, so anyway, so for Spark Core API, we have RDD, which is the original API. And I have to remind everyone that RDD is the core of Spark. So even if you write the API in DataFrame or DataSet, it would ultimately translate it back to RDD. And this also one feature that you need to be aware when you look at Stack Overflows, because you can see like code that really long with like multiple lines, and it often prefer RDD, which is the original form. So if you see that code, unless you have any specific tasks that have to do with low-level programming, run away from that, because it will take you a lot of times, and it's better if now like since we up to Spark 3 already, and if you use Python, then it's better to stick with the DataFrame because PySpark supported. For DataSet, so far it's only support Scala and Java. And the reason is because the structure, the feature of the language, that you can use it with Scala and Java, but impossible to use it with PySpark. So you know, PySpark, we only have one option is DataFrame. Okay, so this is basically to just a comparison between RDD, DataFrame, and DataSet. Yes, but since today we have a limited time, so I'll just tell everyone this: use DataFrame. Unless you have specific thing that you need to use RDD, then you can start looking at that. But if you are just introduce, you know, like basic introduce level, you can use a DataFrame. So okay, this is very important because it's one of the feature of Spark. So Spark, there are two things about Spark. Data frame, well, Spark API, well, Spark in general. Number one, that all transformation in Spark are lazy. That means they are not compute their result right away. Instead, they just remember the transformation and apply it to some base data set. So only when you call for action on the command, then the command start. So number one, it's lazy, and number two, is immutable. So once the data frame is created, it cannot be changed. So remember this. I'll talk more on this. Oh, okay. So this is the example of the lazy evaluation. So why we call it a lazy evaluation? So just think about it. If you are going to the restaurant, right? And the waiter or the waitress, they come up at your table and they ask you like, what would you like to order? So they don't, like, for example, if you want to order a cheeseburger and your friend want to order a soup, right? So the server will wait for you guys to finish ordering before running to the kitchen and order the food for you guys, order the chef to make the food for you. So this way you can relate it to a lazy server, lazy evaluation, as that the runner, the Spark doesn't, like, when you say like, I want cheeseburger, it doesn't run into the kitchen and order the chef to make the cheeseburger for you. It waits until you said, okay, I'm now finishing with the ordering. Go to the, please cook for me. Then it start to run in there. So why I stress this? So in my notebook example, I wish I could show you guys the running of this. It could be really fun. So basically, in this notebook, the issue is, I think, because I have this for like months and months ago. So that's why some of the drive is already outdated. So basically, if you gonna run it in your own environment, change the drive. I think that's all it needs. But let me show you this. So when you don't click on the show, for example, DataFrame dot symbol, you have to click on the show, or you have to make it do actions before it can show you and compute the column. So in here, for example, I just select a fraction of the data, right? DataFrame dot symbol fraction fraction 0.1, that means I take 10% of the data frame. So it doesn't do anything, it's lazy. So it waits until I say, show me the data, and then it starts to compute. So it didn't compute this step, it's to compute in this step instead. So is everyone clear on this? Because it's very important. Like if you work with Spark and you don't remember these, you will have a lot of trouble. Number one is that the data frame is immutable. So if you want to change the data frame, you have to create a new one. And number two is lazy evaluation. So you need to have the command to well, not command, but you have to compute it before it can show the result. So you guys have questions on this? Hello. Is everyone good on this? Okay, I don't hear anyone, so I guess everyone is okay. So yes. So also another thing is that you need to be aware of the persistence of your data frame. So in Spark, if a data frame is not used, then sometimes it will be lost. You know, like if you don't write it, then it will be lost. Even like you still using, even if you're still using it, well, not using it. For example, if you create a data frame at the start of the notebook, right, and you in the steps later you don't use it at all, you just let it be there, it will be lost sometimes. So what you need to do is you need to catch it, which store in memory, or you need to persist it, which is like write the different level of persist, which basically like just tell it to write in a more permanent location. So depends on your setting, you have a different method for that. So remember, especially on cloud, if you were sometimes your data frame that you want it lost, remember in this feature. So I think we go through it, and we go to Spark SQL. Spark SQL is very easy. I want to introduce this because it's the easiest way to start with Spark. So Spark SQL is basically really similar to the normal SQL. So, you know, select all from data frame one, blah, blah, blah. So start with this. It will be easier for you guys. So I think, yes, I think that's it for the materials I have. So let me introduce you how to set up Spark cluster. So since I cannot show you here, and I won't like go through step by steps, but then I'll show you some quick things that you need to do. And you can also look on here. You know, you can, I'll explain for you the steps on the tutorials, because I think if you are new with Spark and big data, you will get a little bit confused. But then the easier things is just fix the drive here, then it will work. Okay, so here I'll go to the guideline here and explain for you guys. So let's see how to set up Spark cluster on Windows. I hope you guys use Windows because I tried it with Windows. So, oh, I should say standalone. So as we use like just our local machine, then you should use a standalone cluster. Another way you can use it, another way you can set, another way is easier, but then it's not powerful, is that a Cloudera, they provide a VM, like they have the full stack, I think. Okay, let me see. Cloudera Quickstart VM, yes. So another way, if you guys don't want to mess up, then Cloudera, they provide a quick start VM for you to install, and you can start on the experiencing with the Cloudera stack. You know, but then it's tech resource, it's slow, and it's sometimes it gives errors because it's supposed for you to only training on Cloudera, and I hate it. So another way is that you set up a cluster on the Windows. And one guide that I would recommend you to try to take a look, he explain this really, really well, is I don't remember, Spark Scala. I think I follow this guy. Yes, this is the one. He's the one. So you can, in here you can also follow his guide to set up a Spark standalone cluster. And I think he have the version for PySpark. So basically I set up Scala, and I use, if you guys know Java, then Scala would be easy for you guys too. So I set up with IntelliJ for Scala. And also I use PySpark, and my tool is PyJam. And then you can use Jupyter Notebook on top of PyJam. But then I heard like Visual Studio, they have the better integration with Jupyter Notebook, and it's also free. So it's something that you guys can take a look at. I just use whatever more convenience for me. So, you know, if you need more reference, go to this guy. The price here is ridiculous because, you know, Udemy, they often have sales, so don't pay this much. I think the most I pay is like $10. You know, wait for the sales, they will pop up. So, okay. Let's go through with you guys this. Okay, so what you need to install Spark on your cluster, number one, you need to install Java. Okay, Marvin, I don't think you need this. Okay, this is a crappy tool. Yeah, let me, sorry. This is a very impromptu session, so I didn't have a time to look at, okay, jeez, that's a lot. Okay, so I'll tell you guys right now. Basically, you need Java, you need Spark with Hadoop. So if you go on here, let me try. Uh, Yes. So you go on here and you select, right now we have Spark 3, but I think it's a new release, so I'm not sure if this is stable. So you can go to the older version and you use the one with the preview Hadoop. You know, don't use others. So basically you download these two, and let me see. Where is, okay, go to my computer. Sorry. I think, yes. Oh, this one is annoying. Okay, I think everyone can see my screen better. Um, so, so basically, you need to. Okay. So also another thing you need to do, to install is you need to install WinUtils. So the thing with Windows, because Windows doesn't have the same file system with Linux, so you need to trick Spark in thinking that we have the same file system. So basically, you need to get the Spark folders here. Yes, for Scala, then you need Scala here. You need to get the Spark folders and you install unzips and get the WinUtils here. You trick it into thinking this C is the same with the Hadoop file system. So basically that. And also you need to set up environment. You need to set up system environment variables. So let me show you. And later on, you can look at the guide, but then when I go through with steps for you like this, you will know like which guide you're looking for. So you see like in here, I set up Hadoop home is WinUtils, right? Java home is program 5 Java. And so let me see the one Spark. Spark home is see the Spark like this. So basically these three is the one that you need to set. And in here, I think, let me see, let me remember where I set up the one for Spark. I remember I set up one here too, but then I think it in my admin, so it doesn't show up. So I believe there's one in the path as well, but then if you can get up to this one, then normally the guide will show you up until like select, create a system. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I remember now. Sorry, everyone. So basically, okay, let me say it again. So first one, you create the system variables. Yes. And there's one more step. Let me see, I forgot this one. Oh, I cannot edit. Okay, let me see if the guide, we can see it. Oh, okay, yes. Basically, if you reach to this step, then all other guides will be the same. So, set Java home, Hadoop home, Spark home, and download WinUtils and place it under here. So if you reach to this step, everything will be easy. The thing is, the first upper one where you have to download Java, Spark, and WinUtils is a little bit confused on Windows. So that's why I show you guys where to put it and where to install it. So I think once you set it up, you just follow this step and it will work. And if it doesn't, let me know. I'll have you. All right. So I think that's it that I have for today. I'll try to fix this drive. Basically, yeah, basically it just needs to fix the drive. That I think it will be all right. Yes, you guys have any questions on that? I think it's time already. So please let me know if you have questions. Then hello, hello. Oh, okay, awesome. Yes, so hope everyone learned something new on Spark, and hope it's useful for everyone. I think this time again. So I'll say goodbyes to everyone, and please remember the GitHub here and start training on Spark. I already put some. I always put some material like simple data. Oh, and also I think yes, I also give some example on Scala too. So if you guys know Java already, you can take a look at it. It will be super easy for you guys if you already know Java. So take a look at it, and I would love to hear your thoughts and what I should improve on the training materials for this, because I regularly have to give a talk about. All right, so I think it's time to start the present here, and I'll upload the materials and also the videos on the YouTube and the link. So thank you so much for participating, and have a good weekend, and thank you for participating. See you guys later. Bye bye. Thank you.